Wonderful. 6:30 p.m. on November 14th. This is a special board meeting. Do we have a quorum? Let's see. I have myself, Scott Young, Henry Ages, Kevin. That is four. Who else? Is anybody else on?
You have Henry, Mark, Scott. I thought Kevin. Rebecca's not here yet.
Rebecca's not on yet. Well, we do have quorum, so we'll go ahead and kick it off. All right, there's on the agenda, there's no community managers report this evening, no officers report. I will say that there's only two items on the agenda this evening for this special meeting. We will not be discussing budget issues this evening. Of course, during community comments, everyone's welcome to have their 3 minutes and say whatever they'd like to say. We will address other in-depth issues at the next regularly scheduled monthly meeting next week on Thursday. With that being said, I'd like to dive into the first issue, which is the appointment of Thomas Kelsey to our board. We first have Thomas introduce himself. Stand by one. Give me 1 second.
Sorry,
Okay.
to make quorum.
Rebecca's trying to join the meeting right now. Let's give 1 second here. We don't want her to miss anything.
I'm checking on Mac also.
Is she able to sign on yet? Paste. I'm gonna send her the link right now.
You're sending that to her?
Yeah, I just sent it to her.
Thank you.
There she is. Hi, Rebecca. Rebecca, you're muted. We can't hear you. You are still muted.
It won't let you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go. Okay, 1 second here. I know what the problem is. Okay, there we go. All right, Becker, we had already called the meeting to order. I just had informed everyone that there's only two issues on the agenda this evening, and we'll be addressing those two issues, and then we'll have community comments at the end. Everyone can have 3 minutes, and then we will adjourn, and we'll reserve other issues like the agenda and the budget and things like that for next week. So without further ado, Thomas, would you like to introduce yourself to us, please?
Hey everybody, nice to meet you. My name is Thomas Kelsey. My wife and I live over in the master plan, originally from St. Petersburg, the last 16 years in the military doing a variety of things, but the biggest one is bringing innovation to the government. In that time also, we're about to launch our third business, certified financial coach through Dave Ramsey, really focused on like the details and the communication aspect of just making sure the community knows where the budget's going and keeping our eye on it. I think that's short. If anybody has any questions, I'm obviously able to expand.
Thank you, Thomas. The reason why I'm asked Thomas to introduce himself is because, as you all know, Rebecca has decided that she would like to pursue other life pursuits at the end of this year and will be stepping down from treasurer. So we put a call out to the community for anyone that wanted to be a treasurer that had financial experience, not necessarily, doesn't need to be an accountant, but somebody that has a passion for finance. And Thomas stepped up and said, I love money and numbers and making things balance. So he volunteered to be our treasurer. So at this time, if any board members have any questions for Thomas, Well, the first thing to do before we start discussing is to make a motion, right? So Robert's Rules of Order, we make a motion, someone will second it, and that opens the floor for discussion. So the motion would be to appoint Thomas Kelsey to the one vacant seat that we have on the board right now. Is there a second?
A second.
Scott seconds the motion. All right, discussion and questions for Thomas from the board.
I'd just like to say thank you for stepping up and volunteering to help out. And thank you to Rebecca for everything that she has done this year, because I know it has been a ton of work. So thank you very much, Rebecca, for your time and your service to the community. We all owe you a debt of gratitude, excuse me, easy for me to say. And Thomas, look forward to working with you. So thank you for stepping up. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll chime in. This is Scott. Rebecca, thank you for everything that you've done in the short time that I've been working with you. You've been on point, very practical, and you've done an amazing job. And Thomas, welcome to the team. Really cool plug for Financial Peace University. So looking forward to getting to know you. And I love the Dave Ramsey comments. So thanks for that.
Thank you. Thank you both for your kind words, and I'm looking forward to getting Thomas up to speed. I think he has a great background and he has a great grasp of finance. So I think this transition will be a good one. We've worked hard this year to get, up and running with BAS, which is our accounting firm, to make this, a turnkey type of operation. So regardless of who is sitting in the treasurer's seat or how much experience they have with financial statements or accounting, we know that there's always going to be some continuity and sustainability in the process. So, Thomas, I'm looking forward to working with you.
Any other comments or questions? All right, at this time, we'll vote. All in favor of the motion to appoint Thomas to the board, say aye.
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 Any opposed? None opposed. By the way, is Mac on? Is any of these random phone numbers Mac?
No, I sent him a message too.
I didn't think so. All right, there are no nays. So welcome to the board, Thomas. Thank you for your service. So just FYI, so Rebecca's position was a 2-year position when she was elected. So she will be resigning at the 1-year point. So what our bylaws state and the charter states is that we appoint someone, they serve the remainder of her term. So Thomas will be appointed to the board for a period of 1 year, at which point this time next year, his seat will be up for re-election. This brings me to the second item. Patty, what'd you say?
And hopefully he'll run again.
Yeah, hopefully, we'll see. This brings me to the second item on the agenda. We put a call out for candidates to the community to run for this year's election. We have 3 seats up for re-election. As you all know, we staggered the seats to ensure that we didn't have a complete washout of a board in any 1 year. So 3 seats up for election this year, 4 seats up for election next year, 3 seats the following year. And it's always the same seats. The seats are numbered. With that said, we had no one but Thomas volunteer. And as you know, he was just appointed to a vacant seat. We put the call out. The deadline expired. We had no candidates. Nobody volunteered. So we are left with 2 options. Press forward, and then the board would basically appoint those 3 seats because we have no volunteers, and we would ask for just somebody to volunteer. Either the sitting board members that are already in those seats can re-volunteer since they've only been on the board for 3 months. Or we could ask for volunteers from the community and say, hey, who wants to be on the board? The board will appoint you to fill these seats if you feel that you're qualified. That would be the first option, and that keeps the train moving. The second option is we put another call out for candidates, and we push the election back another month to the end of December, and we would announce the election results at the December board meeting. That will give us just over a month from Monday, right around a month from Monday, to solicit candidates, get their bios, and then push out the ballots and the voting procedures to the community, and then hold the election and announce the results on December 19th. So those are the two options. So my motion would be to, and this doesn't indicate one way or another, it would just have to make a motion. My motion would be to push the election out a month to December 19th and re-solicit for candidates. Is there a second to open discussion?
I'll second.
I'll second.
All right, we got Rebecca as the second. All right, so for discussion, board members, that's the motion. How do we feel for or against?
It would be nice if we had some community involvement and people step forward. I agree with you. I think maybe giving an extension so that people can take a look and hopefully step forward and try to help us as we make a better community for everyone. So I'm in favor of your idea of extending so that everybody can have a little bit more time. We had a lot of things going on in the last couple months with weather events and life in general. So a little extension probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay. Other opinions?
I also think that there's been probably some interest with the budgets being published and, people, becoming a little more engaged. So hopefully that will generate some interest in others running and getting involved for the board so that they can help to, shed the light and share, some of the challenges that the board is facing with, the budget needs. And I think extending can help. It is a tough time of year where there's a lot of holidays and a lot of people taking vacation. So hopefully there's, that leaves enough time for everybody to raise their hand if they're interested.
All right. Other comments? No comments. Okay. I will say that serving on the board is, it is a commitment. And so anyone on this call or anyone watching this video, understand that when you volunteer for the board, you're volunteering for a commitment. It is a 2-year term. It is a commitment of you're away from your family. It's a commitment of anywhere from 1 to 5 hours a week of time and effort. And it requires training and background checks and things like that. So there's a lot that goes into it. Additionally, we're going to need an election committee. And so anyone on the board that's interested in, or I'm sorry, on the call, that would be interested in serving on an election committee, we're going to need one of those too. Someone to come and count the ballots and count the vote on December 19th and certify the vote. Are there any other comments from board members?
Mark, the only other thing I'll mention is just that, it's equivalent to running a business. So it's a not-for-profit, but we have all of the same responsibilities. And sometimes even more, it's not just our business, right? It's everybody's business that lives here. So I think that's an important thing to keep in mind as you're thinking about the board, that there's a lot of, fiduciary responsibility and there's a lot of time and energy that goes in, a lot of compliance that you have to get trained on. But I think those who are interested and willing to invest the time, it's definitely a wonderful learning experience and you get to learn a lot about the community and your neighbors.
Any other board comments? All right, at this time, we'll vote on the motion. All in favor of pushing the election out to December 19th and trying to re-solicit for more candidates, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Nope.
Not opposed. Motion carries. Perry, we got a lot of work to do and not a lot of time.
We do.
All right. At this time, that's all the agenda items. I will open it up to community comments. If you would please raise your hand and I will call on you. If you're
Patty has something she'd like to say.
Patty, go ahead. Management note.
Sorry, our finding committee has been having some issues keeping up with attendance. So would the board be willing to appoint a member of the community that was on the finding committee but had to step off for personal reasons, but is willing to come back on just as a fourth, but as a third, to always attend the meetings? But this way we always have quorum.
Yeah, Patty, I think that's a great idea. And can we push that to next week? Is that a pressing issue? Do we have to do it today?
We don't have to. I just wanted to get the mailer out again.
Okay,
The meeting.
let's, if we need more members of the finding committee, let's try to push it out. We'll do a Facebook post, do an email blast, and then also we see if we can get any other people as alternates or we need at least 3. And right now we only have 1 person that actively participates. Is that correct?
2, 1
2.
had an
2
emergency.
and then 1 plus. So, okay. So yeah, let's do that. And then we'll cover that at the next board meeting. We'll put it on the agenda.
Okay.
Any other board member admin comments or anything? All right. Community comments. If you would, I would ask that you would raise your hand via your Zoom app, and I will call on you. If you are displaying something like iPhone or a phone number, or really just everybody start with your name, and then we'll hear your comments. Does anyone have anything they want to say? All right, I see Jen has raised her hand. Jen, Jen, can you unmute?
Can you tell me what time next week the meeting is going to be?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's 6:30 next week.
You're going to send out another notification like you did today?
It should already be at Jennifer. Jennifer is correct. We've already published it, right?
I know that it's on the calendar. I don't think I've pushed the agenda out because I don't think I have the agenda yet to
Okay.
push out. But once I
Okay.
have the agenda, then I will push it out on Facebook and on the website as well.
Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate
Yes.
that. And then if for anybody on board, Jen, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. For anyone that is interested in the goings on of the HOA, if you go through Appfolio and you go to association calendar, you will see every event that is happening that is HOA related. All of our meetings and everything are published on there. Other community comments? I don't see any hands raised. I see Bert, you've come off mute.
Yep.
Go ahead, Bert. What would you like to say?
Well, I'll participate in the finding committee if you want to. Let me know what board seats you have available. But I believe we're making things a little bit more complicated than they need to be. I'm part of the concern about the budgets and stuff, and I know you're going to go over that at the next meeting. But the lack of communication concerns me. You guys are being pounded unnecessarily on the Facebook page that you cannot control. And I believe 2 people have hijacked the conversations. That would be Kyle, and that would be Jeff Leone over in Sagewood. There seems to be a lot of misunderstanding and a lot of miscommunication about the construction lawsuit. I think you did everything you possibly could, but I don't think the explanations came. I'm trying to put it in a good term here. You guys should have been better at communicating. Look, if you people don't pass this construction lawsuit thing, you're going to be, every service area is going to be open to either special assessments or whatever. And you wouldn't have, now again, when you run for office, 50% of the people hate you anyway. But the bottom line is, you guys need to be proactive instead of reactive. And my whole thing with Patty has been, repetition passes the dullest of minds. And I think if you guys and gals had gone out there and, confronted Kyle and confronted Jeff Leone, which is a lot of missing information, at least you would have felt better that you informed them. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. We should have said, look, if you don't pass this particular amendment or whatever we needed, if you don't pick this particular vote, this is what it's going to cost you in either a special assessments or assessments. And now you guys look like you're a pariah. Well, you didn't do that. And they also, now again, I don't avail myself.
But I'm going to have to ask you to wrap it up. You're at about 3 minutes. Thanks.
Okay. I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead. I'm done.
No, if you had something to wrap up and finish, I want you to finish.
Well, I think you guys also took it on the chin with the pool.
Yeah.
They want, but they don't want to pay.
Thanks,
I'm
Bert.
done.
I appreciate your comments. It is a difficult nut to crack, right? We had 3 or 4 town hall meetings about the lawsuit. We sent out emails. We made Facebook posts. I did a analytical data survey of 10,000 homes that had similar lawsuits, proving that land values do not go down. They only go up with the market, regardless of the fact if a home has a pending lawsuit or not. And despite all of that, despite town hall meetings, emails, Facebook posts, there's some people you're never going to reach, because I'm not going to come to someone's house and brief them on it.
Correct.
Yeah. So I get that. And people are just going to have to, in the future, if people are surprised by something, the information's out there. There's videos on YouTube. There are Facebook posts. At the end of the day, you can email management@fhrw.org and we'll try to get back to you. But that's there's only so much you can do as a volunteer position, but I'm going door to door, shaking hands and kissing babies. So,
all right, well, just let me know how I can help.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Mark.
Yep. Thanks for that.
Thank you, Bert.
Jen, I see your hand is raised.
Yeah, I mean, I understood how the presentation that you guys gave about that topic. What concerned me, where I thought there was, there's one area that was contradicting what you were saying and what the attorneys was saying. That was kind of my vote against it, because it just felt like somebody was being dishonest. So, and I think there's a couple of other people, especially when we went to the meeting, it just kind of contradicted, what was said before, or it was avoided. We weren't getting the answers that, we were asking. So my concern, the reason I voted against was, I don't remember, I have to look at it, but had something to do with the lawyer fees. And, even though there was I had a couple more questions. So I think there's a lot of people, misunderstanding that part. And especially the gentleman said, some people hijacked the whole thing and had a lot of wrong information. So it was very, very confusing. And I personally felt it was a little rushed, just trying to comprehend everything. So, but, maybe next time we could communicate, if there's another topic come up, we can maybe communicate a little bit better. Anyway.
Thank you for your comments, Jen.
All right. Thanks.
Anyone else from the community want to say anything?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
we can hear you. We just
Please
need
say-
your name, please. You're just a phone number.
My name is Sidney Andrews. SYDNEY, Andrews.
Nice, sir.
I'm an Encore resident. Hi.
Go ahead, sir. What do you got to say?
Just a question. What's with the 45% increase?
Sir, as I said, historically, we're not really going to talk about budgets at this meeting. This is a special meeting.
Okay.
So,
All right. I thought this was the same
Yes,
one,
sir.
because I supported you guys kicking the management company out and stuff like that. In fact, I even tried them to kick our management company out over here. But the thing is, the last couple of years with the increases, Encore residents don't hardly use your facilities at all. I wish that we didn't even belong to Encore, to Fishhawk West. I'm going to try to get our people to see if there's some way that we can get out. That's just my personal feeling. We'll see what happens. We'll go on another meeting. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I understand your frustrations and thank you for your comments, sir.
You're welcome.
Anyone else have a comment? I'm not seeing any raised hands or anyone coming off mute. All right, if that is it, then I will motion to adjourn.
I second.
I'll second. Yeah.
Kevin seconds. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
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 All right. None opposed. Everyone have a great week, and we will see you next Thursday.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good evening.